Hello everyone. In previous lectures, we discussed on clauses and all the clauses we'll find if we go through the sentence. And lastly, we discussed on complementaries or com. It was underlined in the above sentences. Already I have discussed. Let us see another most important part of this section, that is parts of clauses, subjects and objects. While the function of an adverb and adverb phrase is modify an adjective or a verb, the function of an adjective and adjective phrase is to modify an noun and sometimes a verb, and the function of a prepositional phrase is modify an noun or a verb. The verb phrase headed by the verb. The verb phrase headed by the verb in many ways represents the core of a clause sentence, as it is the verb that determines all the other elements, that is NPs, ADPs, noun clauses, adverb clauses, etc. that appear in a sentence. The noun phrase or noun clause that comes before the verb. The noun phrase or noun clause that comes before the verb and answer the questions who or what is called the subject of the sentence clause. Being a subject of a clause is one of the most common functions of NPs, and noun clauses. The subject of a clause is usually the agent or doer of the action. The subject of a clause is usually the agent or doer of the action, represented by the verb. When the verb is an action, verb like love, break, eat, etc. When the verb expresses a state or process, then the subject is understood as the theme of the sentence. In the examples below, the subject is an agent AB, whereas it is the theme. Let's see. John loves Mary. The man in the white coat broke the wall. The sky is blue. The painting looks beautiful. This is the examples of noun phrase. Let us see. All verbs in English compulsorily require a subject. Remember, all verbs in English compulsorily require a subject, and only nouns, noun phrases or noun clauses can be used as the subjects. It is a very important part for an objective questions. All verbs in English compulsorily require a subject, and only nouns, noun phrases or noun clauses can be used as subjects. In fact, a clause is recognized as a noun clause where it is in such a role. For example, that Rani likes mangoes is known to all. That Rani likes mango is known to all. Let us see description of this sentence. The clause that Rani likes mangoes functions as the subject of the sentence and therefore is recognized as a noun clause. It would answer the questions what is known to all? That Rani likes mango. What is known to all? That Rani likes mango or mangoes. We could easily use a noun or noun phrase in this exact slot as well as the following sentences. Let's see. John is known to all. John is noun and is known to all. It is noun phrase. The boxing champion is known to all. The boxing champion, noun phrase. This is all about the noun phrase, and it is also used as a clause. Noun phrase, noun and noun clause. The other most important function of an N or NP or noun clause, noun phrase or noun clause is to be the object of a clause or sentence. I repeat, the other most important function of an noun phrase or noun clause is to be the object of a clause or a sentence. Not all verbs needs objects. Not all verbs need objects. Objects are traditionally understood as an entity that is the receiver or the goal of the action described by the verb. Objects are traditionally understood as an entity that is the receiver or the goal of the action described by the verb as opposed to the subject being the doer or the agent of the action. The object of a verb is usually answer the questions who or what. In some books you will see the form whom instead of who. The form whom is no more used widely in English. Now let us look at a few examples. Kusum is writing a letter. What is Kusum writing? What is Kusum writing? What is Kusum writing? A letter, that is an object. Balram slapped Mukesh. Balram, whom did slap Balram? Whom did Balram slap? Mukesh. Akbar believed that all religions lead to the truth. Akbar believed that all religions lead to truth. What did believe Akbar? That all religions lead to truth. This is an object we got when we ask the question to the object, to the subject or to the verb. Let us see the description of above the sentence. The underlined expressions that come after verb are all objects of the verb. You can test it asking the questions who or what after the verb is. Kusum is writing what? Kusum is writing what? Or what is Kusum writing? He is writing a letter. Balram slapped who? Or who did Balram slap? Akbar believed what? Or what did Akbar believe? This is question and its answer got, that is an object or objective of the sentence. Object. Let us see, as we had said earlier, not all verbs needs objects or allow objects. The verbs that allow them need them to complete their meaning. Such verbs are known as transitive verbs. Let us see. I will repeat. The verbs that allow them need them to complete their meaning. Such verbs are known as transitive verbs. Some verbs like cry, sleep, stand, etc. Some verbs like cry, sleep, stand, etc. do not need an object and therefore do not allow any object. Such verbs are known as intransitive verbs. I will repeat. Some verbs like cry, sleep, stand, etc. do not need an object and therefore do not allow any objects. Such verbs are known as intransitive verbs. This is a distinction between transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Very simple way we can say, sometimes the sentence require a subjects, verb require objects, and sometimes it is not need. Those verbs require objects. This is known as transitive verbs for their meaning, complete meaning. And some words like cry, sleep, stand do not need an object and therefore do not allow any objects. Such verbs are known as intransitive verbs. So while you can say Vijay cried or Salim is sleeping, you cannot add any objects to these clause sentences. Vijay cried or Salim is sleeping. Just like the subject, only nouns, noun phrases and noun phrases can be used as objects. Clauses like that all religions lead to truth which functions and the object of the clause is identified as a noun clause because of this role that it plays. While some verbs are transitive and some others are intransitive, there are some verbs which are detransitive, that is, these verbs require and allow two objects, one called the direct object and the other called the indirect objects. Let's see. While some verbs are transitive and some others are intransitive, there are some verbs which are detransitive, that is, these verbs require and allow two objects, one called the direct object and the other called the indirect object. We can see some example here. The waiter handed me the bill. The waiter handed me the bill. Rahel gave Maria a book. Krishna asked his mother if he could go out to play. Let us see. You will see that both the objects can be tested using our questions words who or what. Who did waiter hand me? Sorry, what did the waiter hand me? The bill. Who did the waiter hand the bill to me? Who did Rahel give a book? Maria. What did Rahel give Maria or Mary? What did Krishna ask his friend? What did ask his friend? What did Krishna ask his mother? Who did Krishna ask if he could go to play? This is all the questions we have got, and the answers to all these questions above would be the objects of these sentences. This is all about the direct transitive verbs or object we have discussed here.